Put some respect on this man's name, as Jonathan Mogbo shocked everyone with his performance tonight, but it wasn't just him, as Jamison Battle also had a very clutch fourth quarter for this Raptors team. Scottie Barnes silenced all of the haters, all the doubters that were coming at him after opening night, and Jamal Shed continues his emergence as a Raptors fan favorite and a really productive basketball player despite being the 45th pick in what was deemed as a horrible NBA draft class. We have a ton of storylines, a ton of stuff to break down because frankly, this Raptors team came out with a really wild game here tonight, an electrifying first half. Crazy action of basketball, exciting. The second half was a 180 in terms of style basketball, was just a slow grit and grind, lots of free throws, ugly game, but both styles of basketball, the Raptors were able to control the game, dominate, and get a big victory against the 76ers, who are a top-tier playoff team in the East, but were without Joel Embiid and Paul George. So we'll break it all down, and before we dive into any of that, folks, again, you guys crushed it hitting the like button on this morning's video, helped it out a ton, helps out the channel a ton. So again, if you guys are ramped up, if you guys are enjoying all the content regarding the Toronto Raptors, make sure to hit that like button on this video and all the ones going for it, because I mean, it's free, it's easy to do, and it helps you out a ton. And let's share the excitement on this team, because frankly, I am amped up with what we got to see today, because again, there was a lot of hate. There was a lot of disappointment coming the way of the Toronto Raptors after game one of this year's sort of regular season start, a 30-point blowout. But as I said in the opening night, this team is very, very young, but it has a ton of talent. So when you have a young team that has a ton of talent, that's still growing pains, and there was a lot of growing pains in tonight's game as well. Don't think that this is a perfect outing by any stretch of the imagination, but you're going to get some very high highs, which this game feels like as a Raptors fan, but also some very low lows, as we saw on opening night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we just got to ride that wave, ride with it over the course of this season, and take every win and loss with a grain of salt, but from the eye test, what we're watching from the games, we should be getting amped up or a little bit worried about what we're actually seeing out there on the basketball court. And frankly, one guy that silenced a lot of people today was Jonathan Mogbo, because I saw a lot of people, hey, why didn't we take Filipowski, Tyler Kolek, different guys out there with the 31st overall pick? You know, Jonathan Mogbo, he's just selected because he's Scottie's friend. Masai Ujiri just loves these non-athletes. What are we doing here? Well, I saw it from the preseason. Again, even tonight, Jonathan Mogbo is extremely raw. He is a very raw player coming out there in the league. But if you didn't see it in tonight's game, you know, then you weren't watching tonight's game, because the athleticism, the length that he has, the ability to block shots, the court awareness, right? He sometimes just plays way too fast. And early on in this game, frankly, you know, there was a really egregiously bad turnover at the start. There was a floater that just looked really ugly at the start of this game. But Darko Rajaković, which I really, really like to see, and, you know, it's going to get him some criticism on when these guys are playing bad, but he is letting everyone just play through their mistakes and do different stuff out there. And frankly, Jonathan Mogbo tonight showed a ton. And we can take a look at his stats. Basically, Mogbo coming off the bench had 24 minutes of action, 3 of 8 from the field, but had 12 points, had 9 rebounds, had 5 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks in this game. If that's not stat sheet stuffing, I don't know what is. This man was doing some really great reads out there, cutting to the basket, you know, backdoor cuts, had the ball in the wing a ton of times, and then made some drives that didn't necessarily lead to assists. He still, God, I just named it and I forget it. He still had 5 assists in this game. There was a ton of these plays where he just made some nice dump offs, some good decisions, and it led to just some good movement, whether the shot was hit or just led to another pass that led to a score. Mogbo was a really nice facilitator of the offense. Again, he's nowhere near the level of a Draymond Green yet by any stretch of the imagination, but has that archetype, has that play style of a guy that, again, it's probably never going to look smooth out there at any point in his NBA career in terms of how he's playing or things like that. It's probably going to be a bit of a weird, unorthodox style of basketball, but it gets the job done. It makes his teammates better. And even though sometimes he's playing a little bit too fast and he sees the vision, right? You could tell he has amazing court vision for a forward out there, and he sprinted up the court and he wants to throw it, but his handle just has to get a little bit tighter. His ability to hit passes on mark, on cue, has to get a little bit tighter. And as that comes, right, he has the intangibles. He has that crazy, insane reach. He has all of the skills, all of the makings for a guy that can really blossom into a really nice basketball player for this Raptors team. And for the 31st overall pick, again, in a trash NBA draft, I am very, very happy with the upside of a Jonathan Mogbo. But he was the crazy feel-good storyline about this game, but there was a lot of them out here in this one. I mean, Jamison Battle is a guy that we were very excited about when he ended up making the final roster spot. But in 15 minutes of action tonight, had a cold start to this game, looked a little bit nervous, missed his sort of technical foul free throw, right? 2-4 from the free throw line for what was what was branded and what is one of the elite shooters on the Toronto Raptors team. But really in the fourth quarter, just shook off all the nerves, shook off all the rust, and Darko Rajaković let him play, even with foul trouble, even with a couple of early shaky moments. Fourth quarter, Jamison Battle hit a couple of really, really tough threes, timely threes for this Raptors team, and had 12 points at 6 rebounds, brought the hustle in the defensive end, did foul out of the game, and again, you look at this and it's a rookie. It's a guy that's he's playing his heart out there on the basketball court. So I don't mind these guys. I think we had like 3 players foul out of this game. It felt like, yeah, we had Gradey Dick, we had Davion Mitchell, and we had Jamison Battle all foul out of this game. Everyone was just playing with 110% pace, 110% energy, and it's what won the Raptors the game. There's also some weird foul calls thrown the way against the Toronto Raptors, but frankly, Jamison Battle's ability to knock down the 3-point shots at just an elite rate, no matter how the game is going, right? Because again, thinking back to other 3-point shooters on this Raptors team, the Terrence Rosses, the Matt Thomases, different guys that have been in the mix that have been, hey, this guy's going to be elite 3-point sniper for this team. When they're missing, it's just a bad game, right? You get the really hot nights, but if they're missing, it's just a bad game. This was an off night for Jamison Battle starting off, but played through it, got the opportunity in the fourth quarter, and then just was unfazed whatsoever in terms of the jump shot being a little bit off, hit a couple clutch shots, and you love to see that mentality from a 3-point shooter, and that's what we've seen over the course of preseason, over the course of Summer League, and I'm just excited that these guys on the deep bench, because so many years with Nick Nurse, even a little bit last season, we were promised these bench guys to actually, they showed flashes out there in preseason, they showed flashes in this, and then they either get cut, or they just wouldn't really have an opportunity, but it just felt right. It's weird seeing a full rotation that didn't feel wrong at any point in terms of players getting subbed in and out of the lineup. So again, Darko Rajaković has been receiving a bit of criticism, has been receiving a bit of stuff, but frankly, he's lived up to his words about deep rotations, and it doesn't feel like any of our star guys, any of our stuff are being, ruined for minutes, right? We can take a look at the minute distribution, right? Poeltl in this one had 27 minutes in this game and had 19 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, did his thing out here, was dealing with foul trouble himself. Scottie Barnes obviously is going to play the most, but 36 minutes in this game. But everyone else, it was, it just wasn't rigid. It wasn't tight. And this is Nick Nurse definitely wasn't a rigid sort of coach by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely in terms of rotations, you'd never see a Jonathan Mogbo, after how raw he looked in preseason, get 24 minutes in a game that was really close the entire time, no matter how good he was playing, probably with any other coach in the NBA. So I am very happy that Battle, Mogbo, all were given an extended leash out there in terms of opportunities, but out there on the court. But I'm 8 minutes into this video and haven't talked about the guy that, is really the key piece, and I knew that he'd be fine. I drafted him really early in my fantasy league, in the Raptors Digest fantasy. I drafted him like 12. Scottie Barnes is just going to be different this season. We know this. The jump shot improved last year, and now he's had a whole full summer to work on his ability to be a number 1 option, and the team is built around him at this point. And tonight, we got exactly what we're expecting from Scottie Barnes. 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, filling up the stat sheet, super efficient from the field, got to the free throw line, just hit some timely shots, had some timely plays. Again, I'm not going to come out here and just, lay Scottie the entire season, but we understand, and we can't forget or lose sight, because again, he's still a young star out there in the NBA. There's going to be nights where things aren't perfect. That's just how it goes. He had a bit of a weird sort of, preseason training camp, had some off the court stuff. I think it was positive, but it gets you out of your rhythm a little bit. There's going to be ups and downs for Scottie Barnes all season as well. But frankly, tonight just showed why he was given the keys to this team, to this franchise for the future. But Scottie Barnes played well. Jakob Poeltl had a very, very big bounce back game that was needed. 19 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists for him in this one, 4 blocks out there in this game, which was another sort of great moment to see. Chris Boucher, Jakob Poeltl, and Jonathan Mogbo combined for 11 blocks in this game, which is just, a defensive masterclass that you love to see out there for this Raptors team out there in the back line. But one guy that I think is going to get a little bit overlooked, a little bit not talked about too much in this game, but really did a good job of keeping the Raptors on the runs and played phenomenal defense, was Ochai Agbaji, who 12 points, had 8 rebounds in this game, was playing a little bit bigger than he usually is. I guess that's not true because the Raptors have been playing him really big out there in the lineups for his entire Raptors career, but he's doing a really good job on the defensive end. And the impressive thing about Ochai Agbaji for me, because again, the jump shot is something that needs to develop for him to be a really reliable rotation player on an elite basketball team. That's something I'm not going to deny. I'm not saying that, Ochai Agbaji's fixed, it's perfect and stuff, but his ability to finish around the rim and ability to make really nice reads in terms of cutting the basket, in terms of getting the rim, it's it's keeping him out there as a plus on the offensive end, because we know Ochai Agbaji is one of the best on-ball defenders on this team, and dare I say out there in the league in terms of his strength, quickness, and stuff. Again, not like an all defensive guy just yet, but definitely in the upper echelon in terms of on-ball defenders in the NBA. But if he can just be a positive out there on the offensive end, continue to develop his jump shot over the course of his Raptors career, then again, we see why Masai Ujiri is very high on him as a basketball player. But folks, there's a guy that I've been gassing up, I've been hyped about for since preseason, since we drafted him really from that point, and it is none other than Jamal Shead, who this man just continues to impress, continues to, tonight the box score wasn't something to really just rave about. 4 of 11 from the field, knocked down a really confident looking 3, had 7 turnovers in this game, which is a bit wild. They're running a lot of traps and stuff, it is what it is, but 11 points, 5 assists, and down the stretch when what team were we playing? The Philadelphia 76ers. I had the Lakers game on the side. I was about to say the Lakers, but Jamal Shead, right? The Toronto Raptors needed a bucket. They needed some plays done on fast, and Jamal Shead just was very timely in terms of the shots that he made. And I've got a few graphics I'm cooking up. A few of them are necessary. I got the Shed Heads bandwagon. I'm a Shed Head out here. I'm a Shed Head when it regards to Jamal Shead. That's my guy, Jamal Shead. I thought he played just a really solid game, and him and Davion Mitchell, the pressure that they put on Tyrese Maxey, because again, Tyrese Maxey scored a ton of points, but it was not efficient. He went 6 of 23 from the field, 2 of 12 from the 3-point line, and it's not because, hey, Tyrese Maxey was just missing. It is what it is. That man got zero easy shots, it felt like tonight. There was nothing easy for Tyrese Maxey, whether it was Davion Mitchell, whether it was Jamal Shead, guarding him at that point. So, that's something that we love to see. Again, the Shed Head animation, I'm keeping this rocking for this entire season. The Shed Heads are rocking out here this year, especially on the defensive end, clamping up all-stars. We love to see that for our top guys, our top guards, with Immanuel Quickley out, but happy he's been able to make his way in the rotation. Garrett Temple says he didn't play. He definitely played a couple seconds there, got cooked out of defensive possession. DJ Carton, again, no points, but I thought I thought he scored a couple times in this game. I'm not going to lie, but I thought did a good job, playing the guard spot. 16 minutes for DJ Carton. Again, this is a different year for the Toronto Raptors. This is a deep, I don't know how consistent, again, we're going to have nights like this, but I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. This is a feel-good win, and no, I'm amped up for this Toronto Raptors game against the Minnesota Timberwolves game. The Minnesota Timberwolves team tomorrow. But anyways, guys, you guys are the best to make this far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't. Hit the like button. You guys have been crushing it, hitting the like button. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.